Hello everyone, this is Diamond Soni from Canwings Consultants Private Limited. Welcome to a very exciting session of my YouTube videos. So as I've been sharing with you earlier that Australia is back on track and we do see nominations opening up, I'm here with a very good news for you. So we received an update from Tasmania. So that has opened up its nominations for offshore migrants. Of course, it has opened for both onshore as well as offshore. But the big question that a lot of you had was whether the nominations that are opening up would be available for offshore applicants or not. And here we are with offshore nominations. So basically, there are about 1,400 nominations that Tasmania is expected to offer to 491 applicants and another 1,400 nominations for 190 subclass nominations. And this time there's been a slight difference. See, the 190 nomination used to be usually through invitation, in a sense that the state of Tasmania used to decide which applicant to invite for a nomination. And for 491, usually the applicants could directly go onto their online portal and lodge an application. This time, however, it has changed. Even the 491 applicants will be invited by the state of Tasmania to lodge an application, that is an application for a nomination. You will not be able to directly go onto their website and lodge an application. So basically, there are 4 categories which they have created under which you can apply for a nomination. The first category is that of Tasmanian graduates, those who have studied in Tasmania. The second category is for those who have worked in Tasmania. That is called category 2. And the one applicable to most of us is category 3A. That is overseas applicants whose occupation is listed on the TESOL, that is Tasmanian Skilled Occupation List. And the category 3B refers to the overseas applicants who have a job offer. Of course, category 5 refers to small business owners. Now, please, I want you to be very, very careful here. Do not confuse category 3 and mix it up with category 3A and 3B. Category 3A basically refers to overseas applicants whose occupation is on the TESOL. And category 3B refers to those who have a job offer. So do not be misled into believing that you need to have a job offer. No, if your occupation is listed on the Tasmanian Skilled Occupation List, TSOL, you do not need any job offer. And we've seen a very good TESOL list, and a lot of people will be eligible now. And of course, they can just go ahead and avail of the nomination without needing any sort of job offer or without meeting or the requirement of having lived or worked in Tasmania. Now, there is something I'd like to share with you. There are a lot of people who are in Australia at this time, either on a student visa or they are on some work visa or so, and they are looking at nominations and they'd like to understand whether they can avail of the Tasmanian nomination or not. Now, please understand that some of the points they've stipulated are that one, that if you're availing the overseas applicants 3A criteria, in which your occupation needs to be listed on TESOL, it is mandatory that the applicant should be living overseas, should be living out of Australia. And then the applicant or his dependent should not have lived in another state in Australia in the last 12 months. And let's say those people who are currently on a visitor visa or some sort of short-term visa in Australia at this time, but they're technically not living in Australia, would they be eligible to apply for nomination with Tasmanian government? The answer is yes, they will be eligible to apply. So basically how this is going to work is that the criteria is as follows. You basically need to have 65 points in order to be eligible, and these 65 points are inclusive of the 15 points that you can claim for subclass 491 or 5 points that you can claim for subclass 190. And your occupation needs to be on the TESOL if you are an overseas applicant. And the English proficiency varies from occupation to occupation. There are some occupations that require proficient English, that is 7 bands in each section, or let's say 65 each on PTE, whereas there are some other occupations, largely trade level occupations, which need just competent level English. And when we're saying competent English, we mean just 6 bands in each section or 50 each in the PTE. And then you have to basically indicate Tasmania as the preferred state in your EOI. The state of Tasmania will decide whom to invite for a nomination. They'll send out an email that you've been invited to apply for a nomination, following which you will have 60 days to lodge your application for a nomination with Tasmania. Now, please let me tell you that Tasmania nomination is very competitive in the sense they need very, very exhaustive documentation. It's not as simple as just putting together your experience, qualification documents, and basic data entry. There are a lot of requirements they have, which of course we as migration agents will be walking you through once we assist you with your nomination application. And the important thing here is that Tasmanian government will not be considering EOIs which are older than 6 months. So if you've just lodged an EOI and you update it with the Tasmania as the preferred state, good. If your your expression of interest was lodged more than 6 months back, you're not good to go. In that case, I recommend that you withdraw your EOI and lodge a new one. So this also answers a question I've been asked by a lot of applicants in the previous videos, where applicants have been saying we do not want to lodge an EOI because our occupation has not been listed on any state, so it's futile to lodge an EOI. Here is the answer now. It is not futile. For example, Tasmania is happy with EOIs that have been lodged, provided they are not older than 6 months. And those who are older than 6 months can always withdraw and go ahead and lodge a new one. Those people whose EOIs are less than 6 months old, all they need to do is just update it. Instead of any state, they need to write Tasmania and they're good to go. Now, if you look at the occupation list, I think it's a very good occupation list. Some of the occupations a lot of you would be eligible for are almost all the trade occupations, including chefs, cooks, bakers, automotive technicians, and so on, fitters, and so on. And then restaurant managers are eligible, hotel managers are eligible, graphic designers are eligible, web designers are eligible, engineers are eligible. Almost all engineers are eligible. However, there is a further requirement stated from the engineers, which we will discuss with you once you contact us. And farmers, almost all farming occupations like poultry managers, poultry farm managers, or poultry farmers, and other forms of farmers such as fruit farmers and all of them are eligible. Pharmacy technicians are eligible, agriculture consultants are eligible, quality assurance managers are eligible, and very importantly, university lecturers are eligible. University lecturers have been very keenly looking for nomination opportunities for a very long time, and this is the time for them now. Interestingly, there has been no IT occupation listed on the Tasmanian skilled occupation list. And like I said, engineers do need to get in touch with us, because just having a skills assessment is not enough. You probably do need a further process to follow in order to be eligible to apply for a Tasmanian nomination. So basically, this occupation list that has been released was decided upon after a very careful review of occupations in the year November 2019 and November 2020. Now, when you look at this list, if you compare it with the previous list, they have actually removed 60 occupations from the current list, out of which 30 occupations happen to be healthcare related. So all those people who are under the impression that probably the states will at this point of time only be catering to priority occupations or occupations related to the healthcare industry, I think those that understanding should be corrected here. They are definitely not only looking at healthcare sector, otherwise they would not have removed 30 healthcare occupations. In fact, they've added 29 occupations such as graphic designers, illustrators, multimedia specialists, web designers, and so on. And there are another 117 occupations which are still under review and under consultation, which have the potential of being either removed or added to the existing list. So what that basically means is that we are looking at a further revision of this list, and in case your occupation has not been listed with Tasmanian skilled occupation list, there's a fair possibility that it does get listed in times to come. Now with that, I'd also like to end the video with just a bit of information that there is also a criteria with Tasmania which is called off-list nominations. So off-list nominations basically refers to people or applicants whose occupation is not listed on the TSOL. So what Tasmanian government is saying is that even if your occupation is not on the TSOL, you can still go ahead and lodge an EOI, indicate Tasmania as your preferred state, and there could be a possibility that they send you an invitation for a nomination. That's great news, I think. So please do send us your CVs if you're done with the first step of skills assessment, which I'm sure you almost all of you must have been. Share with us your updated CVs and your skills outcome letters. Email us on canwings@gmail.com, that is CAANWINGS@gmail.com, or feel free to give us a call on 78498 We will be very happy to give you a free consult, and we can get you started. The nominations are formally opened. The state of Tasmania will begin sending out invitations for nominations very soon. You have no time to lose. And the huge fallacy that probably offshore migrants are somebody Australia is not interested in, they will be made to wait for another year. So please remember, all of those were just rumors, so untrue, and offshore migrants are formally on. You can get started. Those whose occupations are listed here, please lodge your expression of interest or contact us, and we will help you, we will assist you with lodging an application for nomination. So until next video, bye-bye and take care.